Sadly, the American dream is dead. We don't have victories anymore. We used to have victories, but we don't have them. When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China in a trade deal? They kill us. I beat China all the time. All the time. When did we beat Japan at anything? They send their cars over by the millions. And what do? When was the last time you saw a Chevrolet in Tokyo? It doesn't exist, folks. They beat us all the time. When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend, believe me. But they're killing us economically. The U.S. has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. Thank you. It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East. But we don't know, because we have no protection, and we have no competence. We don't know what's happening. And it's got to stop. And it's got to stop fast. Islamic terrorism is eating up large portions of the Middle East. They become rich because they took the oil that when we left Iraq, I said we should have taken. So now ISIS has the oil. And what they don't have, Iran has. We spent $2 trillion in Iraq. $2 trillion. We lost thousands of lives, thousands in Iraq. We have wounded soldiers who I love. I love. They're great. All over the place. Thousands and thousands of wounded soldiers. And we have nothing. Our enemies are getting stronger and stronger by the day. And we as a country are getting weaker. Even our nuclear arsenal doesn't work. It came out recently. They have equipment that's 30 years old. They don't even know if it worked. And I thought it was horrible when it was broadcast on television, because boy, does that send signals to Putin and all of the other people that look at us and they say, that is a group of people and that is a nation that truly has no clue. They don't know what they're doing. Politicians are all talk, no action. Nothing's going to get done. They will not bring us, believe me, to the promised land. They will not. I've watched the politicians. I've dealt with them all my life. If you can't make a good deal with a politician, then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good. And that's what we have representing us. They will never make America great again. They don't even have a chance. They're controlled fully. They're controlled fully by the lobbyists, by the donors, and by the special interests, fully. Our country needs a truly great leader, and we need a truly great leader now. We need a leader that can bring back our jobs, can bring back our manufacturing, can bring back our military, can take care of our vets. Our vets have been abandoned. You know, all of my life I've heard that a truly successful person, a really, really successful person, and even modestly successful, cannot run for public office. Just can't happen. And yet that's the kind of mindset that you need to make this country great again. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Is there anyone on stage who is unwilling tonight to pledge your support to the eventual nominee of the Republican Party and pledge to not run an independent campaign against that person? Again, we're looking for you to raise your hand now. Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight. Mr. Trump. So, Mr. Trump, to be clear, you're standing on a Republican primary debate.
I fully understand. I have to respect the person that, if it's not me, the person that wins. I can totally make that pledge. If I'm the nominee, I will pledge I will not run as an independent. But, and I am discussing it with everybody, but I'm, talking about a lot of leverage. We want to win, and we will win. But I want to win as the Republican. I want to run as the Republican nominee.
This is what's wrong. He buys and sells politicians of all stripes. He's already, hey, look, he's already hedging his bet on the Clintons, okay? So if he doesn't run as a Republican, maybe he supports Clinton, or maybe runs as an independent.
Okay.
But I'd say that he's already hedging his bets because he's used to buying politicians.
Well, I've given him plenty of money.
Just to be clear, you can't make it. We're going to move on.
You say that the Mexican government is sending criminals, rapists, drug dealers across the border. Governor Bush has called those remarks, quote, extraordinarily ugly. I'd like you're right next to him, talk to him directly and say how you respond to that. And you have repeatedly said that you have evidence that the Mexican government is doing this, but that you have evidence you have refused or declined to share. Why not use this first Republican presidential debate to share your proof with the American people?
So, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't even be talking about illegal immigration, Chris. You wouldn't even be talking about it. This was not a subject that was on anybody's mind until I brought it up at my announcement, and I said Mexico is sending. Except the reporters, because they're a very dishonest lot, generally speaking, in the world of politics, they didn't cover my statement the way I said it. The fact is, since then, many killings, murders, crime, drugs pouring across the border, our money going out and the drugs coming in. And I said, we need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly. And I don't mind having a big, beautiful door in that wall so that people can come into this country legally. But we need, Jeb, to build a wall. We need to keep illegals out.
Mr. Trump, I'll give you 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds to answer my question, which was, what evidence do you have, specific evidence, that the Mexican government is sending criminals across the border? 30 seconds.
Border Patrol, I was at the border last week. Border Patrol people that I deal with, that I talk to, they say this is what's happening because our leaders are stupid, our politicians are stupid, and the Mexican government is much smarter, much sharper, much more cunning, and they send the bad ones over because they don't want to pay for them, they don't want to take care of them. Why should they, when the stupid leaders of the United States will do it for them? And that's what's happening, whether you like it or not.
You've also donated to several Democratic candidates, Hillary Clinton included, Nancy Pelosi. You explained away those donations, saying you did that to get business-related favors. And you said recently, quote, "When you give, they do whatever the hell you want them to do."
You better believe it.
So what specifically did they do?
If I ask them, if I need them, you know, most of the people on this stage I've given to, just so you understand. A lot of money.
Not me. Not me. But you're welcome to give me a check, Donald, if you'd like.
Many of them.
Actually, to be clear,
That's
he
right.
supported
Not
Charlie Crist.
Not much.
Charlie,
but I have...
Donald, if you end your campaign, I hope you will give to me.
Good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, Governor. I will tell you that our system is broken. I give to many people. Before 2 months ago, I was a businessman. I give to everybody. When they call, I give. And you know what? When I need something from them, 2 years later, 3 years later, I call them. They are there for me.
So what'd you
that's
get?
a broken system.
So what'd you get from Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi?
Well, I'll tell you what. With Hillary Clinton, I said, be at my wedding, and she came to my wedding. You know why? She had no choice because I gave. I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I don't need anybody's money. I'm using my own money. I'm not using the lobbyists. I'm not using donors. I don't care. I'm really rich. I'll show you that in a second. And by the way, I'm not even saying that in a brag. That's the kind of mindset, that's the kind of thinking you need for this country. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words. So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders, because we have stupid leaders, okay? 15 years ago, they wanted to build a wall. You know why they didn't build it? They couldn't get an environmental impact statement approved. It's true. They couldn't because there were snakes, toads, rodents, all sorts of crap right in the way. They couldn't. Can you believe it? Let's say the wall costs $4 billion. You know, they say $10 billion. That means $4 billion, if you know what you're doing. And the $4 billion will be much bigger, much better, much stronger than the $10 billion. Believe me. Oh, do I know how to build. Greatest. One of the greats. So let's say it costs $4 or $5 billion. Our trade deficit with Mexico is $53 billion. So $4 or $5 billion is peanuts. It's peanuts. Mexico is going to pay, and they'll be happy. They'll be happy. Now, look, I met the Border Patrol people. The reason I met them is they called me, and they said, we'd love to meet you. And I went to Laredo, Texas, and it was incredible. They're told to stand back. They're told, don't touch anybody. They're told, let people come in. They don't want that. These are incredible men and women, and they're standing there, and people are walking right in front. Beautiful equipment, everything looks good, everything's, except for one thing. They're told, don't do anything. And when they do something, they say, let them go. They can go wherever they want. That's the end. That you never see them again. We either have a country or we don't. In Los Angeles, 50% of the people wanting to get licensed right now are illegals. In California, they have a town council where everybody's suing everybody because they have a group of illegals that want to take over the town council. They want to run the town. They're illegals. We have to stop illegal immigration. We have to do it. We have to do it. You look at crime in Chicago, you look at crime in so many different places, and you see gangs. Many of these gang members are illegal immigrants. They're rough dudes. They will be out of here so frickin' fast. Ted Cruz, they asked Ted Cruz, who, by the way, is very, very weak on illegal immigration. So is Rubio, very weak on illegal immigration. And Bush is so weak that he calls it an act of love. Immigration is an act of love. They come for love. I said, excuse me? Excuse me? You look at the crime, you look at the problems, you look at what's happening even to the economy. If you cross the United States border illegally, you get a job, you get a driver's license, you know that's true. You get food stamps, you get a place to live, you get health care, housing, child benefits, and in many cases, education. You wonder why our country's going to hell. So when these other candidates, let's say Hillary, oh, yeah, Hillary. No. And by the way, the last person she wants to run against is me. Remember 3 weeks ago? Donald Trump is sexist. Oh, did she suffer after that? I brought her husband into the equation, right? Oh, did they suffer? That was a long weekend for them. Hey, I know Hillary very well. I supported Hillary. You know, as a world-class business person, you got to support everybody. You got to get along with everybody. I know these people very well. She suffered. And her people told me the one person she just doesn't want to run against is us. We're going to have so much fun. I hope it's going to be Hillary. No, I hope it's going to be Hillary. Because people are sick and tired of watching what's going on. They're sick and tired with her whole big attitude. And she's playing the woman card up. That's all she has. And I know so many women, they said, I wouldn't vote for her. If you gave me $1 million, I wouldn't vote for her. Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our country. The worst. The world blew up around her. Every single thing that she touched turned to garbage. The entire Middle East in her reign and the reign of Barack Obama went to hell. And you have Assad, and then you have the rebels. How many times have we been backing rebels to find out that they're always worse than the guy that's in there? Right? All the time. They all say, fight Assad. Fight Assad. Assad's a bad guy. They're all bad guys. Not too many good guys over there, right? They're all bad guys. I mean, what did we get by knocking out Gaddafi, right? Nothing. What did we get by knocking out Saddam Hussein? And frankly, you know, in all fairness, there were no weapons of mass destruction. But what did we get out of it? Saddam Hussein killed terrorists. He would kill them immediately. He didn't do it politically correct. He found a terrorist, they were gone within 5 seconds, okay? With us, we find a terrorist, it's going to be 25 years in a trial. We're backing people. If they win, they'll end up being worse than Assad, and we'll have to spend another $1 trillion on them. Nice and easy, folks. In fact, a lot of people think that the rebels that we're backing is ISIS. And people are saying they're ISIS. ISIS, worse than Assad. Hey, Saddam Hussein was never as bad as these people. These people are brutal. They're chopping off everybody's heads, especially if you happen to be Christian. They chop off your head. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. Okay? And I said this in 2004 in Reuters. Anybody from Reuters back there? I'm sure they are. There was an article in July of 2004. Trump said, don't invade Iraq. And a delegation comes to see me from the White House that they'd like to, have me cool. I say, but you're making a mistake. You're going to destabilize the whole Middle East. Because you had Iran and Iraq that always fight, right? Years I read about wars. Iran goes 10 feet this way, then 10 feet. They were the same. They were like twins, same strength. If you do that, you're going to destabilize because you're going to knock the hell out of one and the other one's going to come in and take it over. It's pretty simple. I mean, you don't have to be a total genius to figure this out, even though I am a genius, okay? So you're going to, right? We made a tremendous mistake. We went into Iraq. Shouldn't have happened. Everything you see right now is an offshoot of that decision. That was a very bad decision. Then Obama got out the wrong way. I mean, here's a guy. He announces the date that we're leaving. So the enemy pulls back. What do we have to fight for? They're leaving. We leave 18 months later and they go and look at the mess. I've been saying this for 2-3 years. Don't leave. Keep the oil. Because if you don't get it, Iran will get it or somebody else is going to get it. So here's who has it. Iran is taking it and ISIS has it. And ISIS now is building a hotel in Iraq. They're competing with me. Do you believe it? And I said, keep it. And great criticism. Trump said, keep the oil. Well, that's a sovereign country. Isn't it a horrible thing to say? These are stupid people we have leading us. So, ISIS, believe me, I would take them out so fast it would be. Have to do it. Have to do it. Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I'd do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care. They've got to be stopped. But now we have television people. They always go on television, or generals. We have a certain general on television about 2 months ago. And the announcer asks, how do you think we could do about ISIS? Can we win? I don't know. They're very tough. They're very tough. I don't know what we do. Can you imagine General Douglas MacArthur or General George Patton? These are tough killers. Can you imagine? They must have been going nuts. They're spinning in their grave. So if Putin wants to bomb, I say, go ahead. Go ahead. Bomb. I don't know Putin, but he said nice things about me. He said Trump is a genius, and Trump is going to win, and Trump is leading the party. All right, said nice things. Look, you know, I always like a compliment. We all like compliments. Not going to influence me. Believe me, I'm going to do what's right. But he said these things. So the other people said, we want you to disavow what Putin said. First of all, I say this. Guy calls you a genius, you're not going to disavow. Do we agree? Only a stupid person would disavow, not a genius. No genius would disavow being called a genius. But more importantly, if you look at it, wouldn't it be nice if we actually got along with Russia and other countries? Wouldn't it be nice? For 20 years, I've heard the worst thing that could happen would be if Russia and China start uniting. We've united them because we did things that were very onerous, because Obama doesn't like Putin, and Putin doesn't respect or like Obama. And all of a sudden, Russia and China now are doing all sorts of things together. I heard them saying this morning on television, how dare they want to? Donald Trump wants to work with Russia to get rid of ISIS. Yeah, sort of, right? You know, the cost of missiles at $1 million a pop. It would be nice to work with somebody else, let them drop some of their missiles. But they were talking about working with Russia like we have to do it ourselves. Why do we have to do everything ourselves? We're like the policemen of the world. I'm in the real estate business, as many of you have heard. And all the time I get listings. A base is for sale. A naval base. A army base. A marine. They're always I said, how many bases are there? All the time I'm getting these listings for bases. I said, what are we doing? We are hated throughout the world. What the hell are we doing? We have to rebuild our country. Our bridges are falling down. 60% of our bridges are in danger. I mean, they're in danger. They're in bad shape. Our roadways, our highways, our schools. In Afghanistan, we build a school, they blow it up. We build it again, they blow it up. We build it again. So far, they haven't blown it up, but it's going to blow up. But we can't build a school in Iowa. We can't build a school in Brooklyn, New York. We can't build a school in New Hampshire. We can't take care of our vets. We can't have hospitals for our vets. We don't have any money to do anything for ourselves. At what point do we get smart? We have to take back the heart of our country. We have to do something special. We have to bring back, and let me tell you, in bringing back our military, we have to do something else. We have to take care of our veterans, because our veterans are treated like third-class citizens, and they're the greatest. You know, it's a term I haven't heard for years, but I was thinking about it. I really think it applies now more than maybe ever before. And that's the term, the silent majority. Have you all heard that? The silent majority is back, and we're going to take the country back. And we are going to make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.